Alright, so I'm going to start my mixed media. I found this image on the internet. It's flowers in a vase. I'm going to actually change it a decent amount, so I'm not worried too much about the copyright of it. And I'm going to kind of work quickly. I've got mostly cool colors, like cool red, blue, and yellow, and I've got some white out. And I'm going to kind of just like sketch it out with some watered down blue paint here. And one of the cool things is now that my mixed media surface has got all these things on it, like there's paper here, you could actually see that like if I used a watered down paint, it'll actually sit in some of the little cracks and the grooves, and it'll actually bring some of these textures out even more than they're already brought out with some kind of like an ink wash or something like that. So those things I'll kind of let happen on their own. Didn't necessarily want them there now, so I'm just going to kind of scrub them a little bit. But I've also got these little blobs of spray paint, the edges of the paper, things like that might get picked up really nicely with some of these light washy colors. So I'm thinking that like the base is kind of here. Make sure it's pretty close to the center. I'm not going to get too crazy about it looking exactly like it looks in the picture, but it's some kind of a cylindrical jar. Notice how some of the paint, like the spray paint, it kind of rejects some of the color, and that's okay. Make a couple marks there, it can be red as shadows later. If you used a lot of spray paint and you're running into problems, you can just send me a message and I'll tell you some of the things you could do with it. One of the things you could do is spray old school hairspray on it, and that'll help seal it. Or if you've got like a clear spray, you could spray that on. For most of us, most of you probably didn't even have leftover spray paint, or if you had it, you didn't use it, so that's not an issue. Then I'm thinking about the energy of these big leaves and flower movements here. How can I make that loose and exciting? And as I work, I might tighten it down even more, but for now, I want to keep the energy loose and light. I'm going to have the bulk of my flowers are going to kind of be all up here, so I don't want to limit myself too much, but this is paint, so I could just paint over it as I go. But I also do want to let some of the good work I did prepping this canvas stay behind for the actual project. So. Okay. Here we go. We got this one. Now, I understand you might need to take a little more time than me. That's pretty normal. But do try and keep an energy in your mark making so that it's more dynamic and exciting for people to look at. Lights just went off. I know some people told me it's better for you guys when the lights go off, but it's hard for me to see. So maybe when the lights go up, I'll show you what the painting looks like at the end. I chose this particular vase because it wasn't like so clean and polished looking. Some of the ones I looked at, it was too much, like it was too polished. was too professional. I wanted something like a little more rustic, like you might create from your own garden. But I still did just steal it from the internet. Applying some of these textures here. This flower. It's a little empty down here, so I might just throw another flower in here or something. Maybe one of these that I have up here, these kind of trumpety flowers. Since it's a clear vase, everything inside will show. Maybe not exactly how it shows on the outside, but it'll still show. Another one of these big peonies back here. Some flowers coming up back there. It's a little out of balance. So maybe one of these flowers here, the begonias, I think they are, kind of look very much like roses. I'll add one there to balance what's going on down here. And over on the other side. And then I'll let like a leaf come up to create some balance with what's happening there. Okay, so now I've sketched it all out, got kind of a general idea of what I'm creating. I'm going to go in and firm up some of these lines, make it stand out a little. Some of these I might go back and pop with the green. That's how with the white, sorry, that's how I'll make them kind of look more like glass. A lot of energy in here, a lot of plants. I'm just going to kind of fill some of this in, especially so when I paint on top of it, it creates a vibe that like there's darkness and shadows and all these areas in here. So I did add a little bit of green now. You can see how now I'm starting to build some opaque color on here. And that is a thing you can do. I'm going to stop it here, and then I'll do a little speed painting, and you guys can watch till the end, and then go work on your own. Alright, so this is 12 more minutes of painting, but it only lasts about 2 minutes. So I only painted a total of 20 minutes today. I am hoping you guys can get near where I got or further. I'm staying loose, building in some just general big colors, trying to kind of eliminate some of the line work, building texture and color, using that reddish pink, and then I'm going to come in with some green and add some stems and build up some of these green areas a little more. You will also see me go in with some whitish colors, whitish green, whitish pink, that will just really start to pop, and near the end I will add the white to the jar and start waking up that jar and making it seem a little bit more like glass. Still far from done, haven't fine-tuned anything. That's what I'll be working on next time. So for today, I'm just kind of getting started, generalizing, and roughing things in. But I am trying to stay loose, and I am trying to let some of that dynamic background show through. I do not want to kill all of that great background where I added those papers and the textures. And, if I was one of the people who had some spray paint and got to spray paint the spray paint that's in the background, I want to keep some of that because I think those things add an energy to your work and just kind of make it more dynamic and funky. And that's kind of the whole point of the mixed media project, is to kind of keep that stuff around. So the light did turn off in the room, and I let it just go. So this is what it looks like to you guys through the camera without the light. And then at the end, I'll just show you a shot with the light on. This is sped up 500 times. Still using that big round brush, but I am using, just the tip here and there to create some softer lines and also to create some smaller details. And there's what it looks like with the light on. So you have some glare and some parts look better and some parts look worse.